Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt unseen? Perhaps you have measured your worth against some external standard. And yet, a quiet question lingers. Am I attractive? True attraction is rarely about the reflection in the glass or the applause of others. It is an emanation of the depths within, a subtle radiance born from the alignment of the conscious and the unseen. Let us explore 12 signs that reveal your magnetic essence, even if you have yet to recognize it yourself. The first sign is confidence, not the loud proclamations of ego, but the calm certainty of one who knows their own complexity. When you carry yourself with integrity, when your choices mirror your authentic self, others feel the resonance of your inner stability. The second sign is emotional depth. Those who can navigate their own storms without being consumed by them exude a quiet allure. Emotional intelligence, the ability to witness your own feelings and those of others without judgment, is magnetic in ways that beauty alone cannot achieve. The third sign is curiosity. A mind that is open, questioning, and receptive draws others as naturally as the moon pulls the tides. Curiosity signals vitality, a willingness to engage with the unknown, and that spark of wonder is inherently attractive. The fourth sign is vulnerability. To show the hidden contours of your soul, to reveal both show and light, is to offer authenticity. Others are drawn to the courage it takes to be seen without masks, to allow the self to breathe freely in shared space. The fifth sign is humor, not the superficial kind, but the humor that arises from understanding life's contradictions. The ability to laugh at yourself, to hold the tension of paradox without collapsing, signals a mind that is alive and a spirit that is free. The sixth sign is empathy. Those who can step into the hearts of others without losing themselves radiate a warmth that is instantly recognizable. This silent connection, this acknowledgement of shared human struggle, is deeply alluring. The seventh sign is presence. There is an energy in those who inhabit the moment fully. When you are engaged, attentive, and grounded in the now, you emit a gravitational pull that cannot be manufactured or faked. The eighth sign is creativity. To bring something into existence that was not before, whether it is a painting, a thought, a gesture, or a new idea, is to reveal the inner world to the outer. This act of creation is inherently captivating. The ninth sign is resilience. Life leaves marks, yet those who rise from adversity with grace carry a luminous strength. Others sense the power of a spirit that can bend without breaking, that can endure and yet remain tender. The 10th sign is mystery. There is a subtle charm in what is not fully known, in the quiet spaces of the psyche that hint at vast inner landscapes. Those who carry a touch of the unfathomable invite others to explore, to wonder, to be intrigued. The 11th sign is authenticity. To live in accordance with your inner truth, to honor your values and instincts, is to embody a beauty that is immune to fleeting fashions or transient opinion. Authenticity is magnetic because it signals alignment with the self. The 12th sign is the capacity to inspire. Those who live fully, who honor their passions, and who reflect light into the lives of others, awaken something in those around them. Attraction, in its deepest sense, is the effect of one spirit touching another, gently urging it to awaken. Recognize these signs within yourself. See that attraction is not a matter of surface or approval, but of resonance, depth, and presence. Your magnetism exists quietly, patiently, waiting for acknowledgement from the part of you that has long wondered if it could ever shine. True attraction is not a superficial quality that can be measured by mirrors, social applause, or transient standards imposed by society. It is an emanation of the inner self, a resonance that flows from the depth of one's consciousness into the world. Often we look at ourselves and wonder if we are attractive, measuring our value against an external yardstick of perfection, forgetting that the truest magnetism emerges from a harmony between who we are and the energy we carry. Confidence. The first sign of this inner radiance is not the loud proclamation of self-importance or the boastful display of achievements. It is the quiet certainty that comes from knowing oneself. When a person understands their own complexity, their fears, desires, and contradictions, they move through the world with a presence that is naturally compelling. This confidence does not demand recognition, yet others are drawn to it, sensing a soul that is anchored and aware. It is reflected in the ease with which a person navigates their daily life, the integrity with which they make choices, and the alignment between their values and actions. Even small gestures, such as the way someone listens without judgment or responds with calm assurance, communicate a magnetic inner stability that cannot be fabricated. Emotional depth is another key component of inner attraction. The individual who is capable of engaging with their own emotional life without being consumed by it displays a richness that is inherently alluring. To experience sadness, joy, anger, or longing without repression, and to witness these emotions in oneself with clarity is to possess a form of intelligence that speaks directly to others. Emotional intelligence is not merely the ability to manage feelings, it is the capacity to understand the subtleties of human experience and to navigate relationships with empathy and insight. People are naturally drawn to those who can hold tension without breaking, who can experience life intensity and remain whole, because this demonstrates strength coupled with sensitivity. There is a quiet beauty in the way such individuals relate to the world, not by projecting an image of perfection, but by embracing the fullness of their humanity, the shadows as well as the light. Authenticity, the alignment of self with action, is an essential signal of attraction that emerges from within. When a person is true to their inner nature, their gestures, words, and choices carry a coherence that others feel intuitively. There is no effort to impress or manipulate. Instead, there is a transparency that communicates trustworthiness and integrity. Authentic individuals do not seek validation because they have cultivated an inner sense of worth that is independent of others' opinion. This self-possession is deeply magnetic because it reflects a life lived conscious with attention to the inner world and its reflection in the outer world. Even those who may appear ordinary in conventional terms exude an attraction that cannot be captured in fleeting appearances, for it arises from the subtle resonance of being fully present in oneself. The depth of one's psyche, the acknowledgement and integration of inner complexity, is a source of attraction often overlooked by superficial measures. Each individual carries a unique combination of desires, fears, memories, and aspirations that shape their consciousness. To recognize, accept, and express these elements authentically allows a person to move through life with a richness that others sense instinctively. There is a quiet magnetism in those who have faced their inner conflicts, explored the hidden corridors of their psyche, and emerged with self-knowledge. Their interactions are infused with an understanding of nuance and ability to relate across emotional and experiential divides, and a presence that communicates both strength and vulnerability. Attraction, in this sense, is not a quality that can be taught or acquired through external means. It is the inevitable consequence of inner exploration and the courage to inhabit one's own life fully. The way a person inhabits their body also reflects inner confidence and authenticity. Gestures, posture, and movement carry messages that go beyond words, conveying ease or tension, openness or defensiveness, receptivity or detachment. Those who carry themselves with awareness, who move in alignment with their inner state rather than performing to meet expectations, radiate a subtle magnetism. This embodiment is not about physical perfection, but about the harmony between mind, emotion, and body. It is the natural extension of self-acceptance, the translation of inner clarity into the visible world, and the signal that one is comfortable in their own skin. People respond instinctively to such presence because it communicates coherence, trust, energy that is both inviting and grounding. Even in conversation, the authentic individual displays a magnetic quality. They listen attentively, respond with insight, and engage without pretense. Their words carry the weight of personal experience, reflection, and sincerity, inviting others to reveal themselves without fear of judgment. Conversation becomes a space of resonance rather than performance, where each participant feels seen and acknowledged. This capacity to connect on a deeper level, to engage the intellect and the emotion simultaneously, is a profound aspect of attraction that cannot be manufactured. It emerges naturally from the integration of one's inner world and the courage to inhabit it fully in relation to others. Curiosity, too, plays a critical role in attracting attention and admiration. The individual who approaches life with openness, who seeks understanding and exploration rather than rigid certainty, signals vitality and presence. Curiosity is a form of engagement with existence itself, an invitation for others to join in the exploration of thought, emotion, and experience. It reveals a mind that is alive, receptive, and willing to grow, qualities that are inherently compelling because they promise dynamism, adventure, and shared discovery. Attraction in this sense is not a static trait but an emergent property of a consciousness that is active, questioning, and deeply attuned to the subtleties of life. Ultimately, true attraction is the natural consequence of self-awareness, authenticity, and emotional richness. It is the resonance of a soul that has explored its own depths, embraced its complexity, and learned to live in alignment with its inner truths. Confidence, emotional depth, authenticity, and the embodiment of self in every action, gesture, and thought create a presence that others cannot help but notice. Attraction, therefore, is not a superficial phenomenon contingent on appearance or social approval. It is an emanation of the inner light, a signal of harmony between the conscious and unconscious, the known and the mysterious, the shadow and the light, and those who recognize and cultivate this resonance move through the world with a quiet, enduring magnetism that draws others naturally, subtly, and irresistibly. Vulnerability is often misunderstood as weakness, yet it is one of the most profound signs of inner attractiveness. To reveal the hidden contours of your soul, to allow others to witness both your light and your shadows, requires courage of the deepest order. The person who is willing to expose their imperfections, fears, and uncertainty is demonstrating a strength that cannot be faked or imitated. This willingness to be seen as one truly is creates an invisible yet palpable magnetism, a call to connection that resonates with those who understand the courage it takes to live authentically. Vulnerability opens a space where genuine interactions can occur, where relationships are formed not on appearances or pretense, but on mutual recognition of humanity. When someone embraces their vulnerability, they signal to the world that they are whole in spite of, and perhaps because of, their imperfections. It is in these moments of openness that attraction is born, not through the crafting of an image, but through the revelation of the real self. Empathy, closely entwined with vulnerability, is another layer of magnetic presence. Those who can step into the hearts of others, feel without being overwhelmed, and respond without judgment, carry a subtle yet undeniable allure. Empathy is not simply a compassionate response, it is a deep attunement to the inner life of another, a capacity to sense their fears, joys, and desires as if they were one's own. This attunement creates connection, trust, and recognition, and in these connections, attraction thrives. People are drawn to those who can understand them without words, who can hold the space for emotion without trying to fix, change, or manipulate it. Empathy reflects a mastery of one's own inner life, for one cannot truly recognize the emotions of others without first understanding one's own. The individual who embodies this quality moves through the world like a quiet force, unseen yet felt, carrying a warmth that invites others to draw near and linger. Presence, the art of inhabiting the moment fully, amplifies both vulnerability and empathy into a form of attraction that is subtle, yet deeply compelling. A person who is fully present does not flinch from the realities of life or retreat into distraction. Instead, they engage with the current moment with clarity, awareness, and attentiveness. Presence is reflected in the way one listens, in the steady gaze, the calm voice, the unhurried movements that communicate groundedness and inner balance. People are instinctively drawn to those who are present because it signals authenticity and reliability. It is an acknowledgement that the other person is valued and recognized in the depth of this moment. This quality of presence is not learned through instruction or imitation, but emerges naturally from the integration of the psyche, the alignment of conscious intention with unconscious understanding, and the cultivation of inner peace. The interplay between vulnerability, empathy, and presence creates a resonance that others perceive immediately, even if they cannot articulate it. Attraction, in this sense, is not a matter of fleeting appearance or superficial charm, but a reflection of the inner coherence of a person's being. Vulnerable individuals who are attuned to themselves and others, and who inhabit each moment fully, radiate an energy that is both magnetic and sustaining. Their interactions are grounded, sincere, and enlivened with a sense of trustworthiness that invites closeness and intimacy. This energy does not impose itself aggressively, rather, it is an invitation, a subtle gravitational force that draws others in, not through coercion or artifice, but through the silent power of inner alignment. Moreover, those who embody these qualities often carry an unspoken wisdom, a depth of understanding that transcends mere knowledge or experience. They have faced their own inner trials, observed the patterns of thought and emotion that shape behavior, and learned to navigate the complexities of life with grace. This wisdom, expressed not through words but through demeanor, gesture, and response, signals a mastery of self that is profoundly attractive. It reassures others that they are in the presence of someone who has endured, reflected, and integrate life's challenges, someone who can witness both joy and suffering without being diminished by either. The combination of vulnerability, empathy, and presence communicates a rare stability of spirit, a quiet authority that is magnetic precisely because it is non-demanding and authentic. In relationships, both personal and professional, these qualities manifest in ways that draw people naturally. Vulnerability encourages openness, empathy fosters connection, and presence maintains engagement. A conversation with such a person becomes an experience of resonance, a mirror of one's own inner world reflected back with understanding and recognition. Others feel both seen and safe, recognized and valued, and this response is at the heart of genuine attraction. The individual who can cultivate these qualities does not need to seek attention or validation, for their presence alone is sufficient to create meaningful connection. Attraction, therefore, is not an effortful performance but the emergent effect of a psyche in alignment, a life lived with conscious awareness of self and others, and a willingness to engage honestly and openly with the world. Even the smallest gestures of empathy, vulnerability, and presence can carry profound weight. A gentle acknowledgement of another's feelings, a quiet listening without interruption, a steady gaze that communicates attention and care, all contribute to an atmosphere of authenticity and trust. Those who are drawn to such individuals sense the coherence of inner and outer life, the harmony between what is felt and what is expressed, and they are irresistibly drawn to that resonance. It is an attraction that is not about superficial traits, nor about social approval, but about the recognition of depth, authenticity, and alignment in another human being. Curiosity about life and others further enhances these qualities. The individual who approaches the world with openness, who seeks to understand rather than judge, carries an energy that is alive and inviting. Vulnerability allows them to confront the unknown with honesty. Empathy allows them to navigate relationships with understanding, and presence allows them to engage fully with whatever arises. The combination of these qualities creates an aura of magnetism that others cannot ignore, a gravitational pull that is as subtle as it is powerful, and it is felt immediately before it can even be named. Those who cultivate vulnerability, empathy, and presence discover that attraction is not a superficial pursuit, but a natural byproduct of living consciously. They radiate a magnetism born from self-knowledge, emotional intelligence, and mindful engagement with the world. People are drawn not because of what they show, but because of the integrity with which they exist, the courage with which they reveal themselves, and the grace with which they interact with the lives and hearts of others. This inner alignment, this conscious inhabiting of one's own existence, produce an allure that is undeniable, magnetic, and profoundly transformative. Creativity is one of the most compelling signs of inner attraction because it reveals the depth and vitality of a person's inner world. Those who bring something into existence that was not before, whether it be an idea, a work of art, a solution, or an act of kindness, demonstrate a connection with a part of themselves that transcends the mundane. Creativity signals a consciousness that is alive, responsive, and capable of transforming the invisible into the visible. When someone expresses themselves in this way, they reveal the contours of their psyche, the unique patterns of thought and feeling that define their individuality. People are drawn to creativity not merely because of the product it produces, but because of the presence. It indicates the presence of a mind engaged, a soul awake, and a spirit willing to explore the unknown. Humor, in its deeper sense, is another form of attraction that is intertwined with creativity. The ability to perceive the paradoxes, contradictions, and absurdities of life without collapsing into despair reflects a mental agility that is fascinating and magnetic. Those who can laugh at themselves, who recognize the interplay of light and shadow in existence, convey a flexibility and openness that others sense intuitively. Humor, particularly when it arises from understanding rather than superficial amusement, communicate resilience, insight, and the capacity to navigate life's complexity with grace. It is the laughter of one who has faced difficulties, acknowledged their own fallibility, and discovered a way to transform pain or tension into something lighter, something shared and connective. Resilience is a companion to creativity and humor, forming a triad of qualities that signal profound inner attraction. Individuals who endure adversity yet retain their sense of self, who rise after each fall, continue to engage with life fully, exhibit a strength that is both subtle and undeniable. Resilience is not merely the absence of weakness, but the presence of a deep internal fortitude and ability to absorb experience, integrate lessons, and continue forward without being hardened or closed. Those who embody resilience radiate an energy that communicates endurance, patience, and the wisdom born of struggle. Others are drawn to this energy because it signals reliability, depth, and a capacity to hold complexity without breaking. The combination of creativity, humor, and resilience generates a dynamic presence that is inherently magnetic. Each quality informs and amplifies the others. Creativity allows for new expressions of thought and feeling. Humor allows for adaptability and the navigation of contradictions. And resilience sustains engagement despite challenges. Together, they form a pattern of being that is alive, responsive, and engaging. This is the kind of attraction that goes beyond superficial appearances. It arises from the structure of one's psyche, from the integrity with which a person lives, and from the vibrancy of a spirit that refuses to stagnate. Curiosity is deeply entwined with creativity, humor, and resilience. The curious person approaches life with openness and receptivity, willing to explore ideas, people, and experiences without rigid preconceptions. Curiosity signals a mind that is awake, flexible, and willing to learn, qualities that are profoundly attractive because they promise growth, engagement, and adaptability. It is the curious individual who asks questions not to control or dominate, but to understand and expand awareness. In doing so, they invite others into their world, creating a space of shared exploration, mutual recognition, and energetic connection. This openness creates an aura of magnetism because it reflects a consciousness that is active rather than passive, engaged rather than withdrawn, alive rather than inert. Authenticity underpins all these qualities. The person who is creative, humorous, resilient, and curious cannot truly perform these qualities without being aligned with their inner self. Authenticity ensures that their expressions are genuine, arising naturally from the integration of conscious and unconscious dimensions of their psyche. Others sense this authenticity immediately, recognizing it as a signal of reliability, depth, and coherence. It is not necessary for the individual to seek approval or recognition. The magnetism emerges as a byproduct of living in accordance with one's inner truths. Authenticity enhances creativity, amplifies humor, and stabilizes resilience, creating a harmony of traits that together form a powerful attraction. Presence is also essential in the manifestation of creativity, humor, and resilience. A person may be creative in thought, resilient in spirit, or humorous in perception. But if they are not fully engaged in the present moment, the magnetism diminishes. Presence allows others to feel the fullness of a person's energy, the integration of mind, emotion, and body in a coherent field of awareness. When someone is present, their creative expressions are more vivid, their humor more engaging, and their resilience more palpable. The combination of presence and these inner qualities produces a magnetic field that is experienced subtly but profoundly by those around them, a resonance that draws attention, admiration, and genuine connection. Empathy further amplifies the attractiveness of creative, humorous, and resilient individuals. Those who can sense and respond to the emotions, experiences, and needs of others bring a relational dimension to their magnetism. Empathy allows for connection without intrusion, understanding without judgment, and engagement without manipulation. When combined with creativity, humor, and resilience, empathy forms a holistic attractiveness that operates on multiple levels: intellectual, emotional, and energetic. Others feel seen and understood, and this sense of recognition enhances the pull of the individual's presence, making them magnetic in both subtle and overt ways. The impact of these qualities extends beyond the individual to the environments they inhabit. A creative person brings freshness and novelty to spaces, inspiring others to think differently or engage more deeply. Humor lightens tension and encourages openness. Resilience stabilizes the collective atmosphere, and curiosity invites collaboration and exploration. Together, these qualities create a field of attraction that is not confined to one-on-one interactions but extends into groups, communities, and social networks. People are drawn to such individuals not because of superficial charm, but because of the vitality, integrity, and engagement they project into the world, qualities that are recognized unconsciously as markers of value, stability, and energy. Ultimately, the magnetism of creativity, humor, resilience, curiosity, authenticity, presence, and empathy is not something that can be manufactured or performed. It arises naturally from the alignment of inner capacities with outer expression, from the integration of conscious and unconscious elements of the psyche, and from the willingness to live fully, engage deeply, and reveal oneself honestly. Those who cultivate these qualities move through life with a dynamic energy that attracts without effort, inspires without coercion, and connects without calculation, creating an enduring impression on all who encounter the mystery. Is an element of human attraction that operates quietly, almost imperceptibly, yet it draws others with an irresistible force. Those who carry a touch of the unknown within them possess a depth that invites curiosity, exploration, and fascination. Mystery is not created through secrecy or deception. It emerges naturally from the complex layers of the psyche, the interplay between conscious understanding and unconscious depths. When a person does not reveal everything at once, when they allow some aspects of their inner world to remain veiled, others are compelled to engage, to explore, and to seek understanding. This subtle magnetism speaks to a fundamental human desire, a longing to connect with something profound, something that cannot be fully grasped or predicted. And in that engagement, attraction flourishes. Curiosity, intimately linked with mystery, is both a sign and a stimulant of attraction. The curious person approaches life with openness, wonder, and attentiveness, inviting others into a shared experience of discovery. Their questions are not demands for knowledge, but gentle invitations to explore possibilities, perspectives, and ideas. Curiosity signals vitality, a mind that is alert and receptive, and a spirit that is willing to engage with the unknown rather than fear it. This quality is magnetic because it promises growth and expansion, both for the individual and for those around them. People are drawn to curiosity because it suggests flexibility, intelligence, and active engagement with life, qualities that resonate deeply at an unconscious level. The ability to inspire is another profound aspect of attraction connected with mystery and curiosity. Inspiration does not come from performance or external recognition, but from the alignment of one's inner life with expression that touches others. When someone lives authentically, follows their passions, and engages deeply with their own existence, they awaken something in those around them. This awakening may take the form of motivation, reflection, or a subtle recognition of possibility. The inspiring individual radiates an energy that encourages others to consider their own potential, to confront their own limitations, and to engage more fully with the world. Inspiration, in this sense, is a silent magnet, operating beneath the surface of conscious perception, creating a sense of connection, admiration, and longing that is compelling and enduring. Presence is critical in the expression of mystery and inspiration. To be fully present is to inhabit the moment with awareness, to engage with life without distraction or pretense. Presence allows the subtle qualities of mystery to be felt and appreciated, the quiet depth of our individual's being to be recognized, and the resonance of inspiration to be transmitted naturally. When someone is truly present, they are not attempting to manipulate perception or create a false impression. Instead, they are allowing their own essence to emerge, and it is in this emergence that attraction is born. People sense presence instinctively, often before words are exchanged. They are drawn to the integrity, coherence, and vitality it communicates. Empathy deepens the magnetic pull of mystery and inspiration. Those who can perceive and resonate with the emotions, experiences, and inner lives of others amplify the subtle energy of attraction. Empathy allows for connection without intrusion, understanding without judgment, and resonance without control. When combined with mystery, curiosity, and inspiration, empathy forms a holistic form of attractiveness that operates on multiple levels: emotional, psychological, and energetic. Individuals respond to this integrated presence because it communicates recognition, value, and understanding, allowing others to feel both safe and intrigued in their presence. Resilience further enhances these qualities, providing a foundation for the dynamic energy of mystery, curiosity, and inspiration to flourish. Resilient individuals navigate challenges, setbacks, and the complexities of life without losing coherence, without hardening into rigidity, and without losing the ability to engage creatively and empathetically. Their experiences of overcoming difficulty, integrating lessons, and maintaining a sense of self generate a subtle strength that is both comforting and compelling. This combination of mystery and resilience suggests depth, stability, and inner wisdom, qualities that others perceive as highly attractive because they signal a capacity for endurance, adaptability, and meaningful engagement with the world. Humor, when combined with mystery and curiosity, adds a dynamic lightness to the energy of attraction. The ability to perceive the paradoxes and contradictions of life, to approach them with levity, and to communicate insight through playful observation reflects a sophisticated intelligence and flexibility. Humor in this context is not mere amusement, it is an engagement with life's complexity that allows others to feel understood and seen without heaviness. Those who can balance depth with playfulness demonstrate a form of magnetism that is rare and compelling, drawing others into a space of comfort, reflection, and engagement. Creativity is equally essential in cultivating the allure of mystery. The creative individual translates inner life into expression, offering glimpses of their psyche without revealing all, allowing others to sense the depth and originality of their thought and feeling. Creativity signals engagement with the unconscious, the ability to synthesize experience, imagination, and insight into forms that resonate with others. Whether through art, conversation, problem-solving, or innovation, creativity communicates vitality and presence, inviting connection, admiration, and reflection. In combination with curiosity, mystery, and inspiration, creativity becomes a beacon of attraction, radiating both uniqueness and coherence. Authenticity underlies all these qualities, ensuring that the expressions of mystery, curiosity, inspiration, empathy, resilience, humor, and creativity are genuine. Authenticity is the alignment of inner life with outward expression, the integration of conscious intentions with unconscious motivation. Without authenticity, attempts to create intrigue, engage curiosity, or inspire others may appear contrived or superficial, and the subtle magnetism is lost. Those who embody authenticity move through the world with a natural allure because their presence is consistent, coherent, and trustworthy. This integrity is perceived unconsciously, drawing others toward them with a sense of both recognition and admiration. Even small gestures and everyday interactions become vessels for attraction when informed by mystery, curiosity, and the other interconnected qualities. A thoughtful question, a pause that invites reflection, a gaze that communicates attention and understanding, all convey depth and presence. These subtle cues operate beneath conscious awareness, yet they shape perception and draw people in. Attraction, in this context, is the emergent effect of a life lived with integration, awareness, and courage, the courage to explore, to reveal, to connect, and to inspire. The magnetic energy of mystery, curiosity, inspiration, empathy, resilience, humor, creativity, and authenticity does not require validation from others, nor does it depend on superficial measures of success or appearance. It arises naturally from the alignment of inner capacities with lived expression, from the conscious engagement with one's own depth, and from the willingness to inhabit life fully and courageously. Those who cultivate these qualities generate a presence that others sense before words are spoken, before gestures are observed, and before appearances are judged. It is an attraction that transcends the superficial, rooted in the integration of the psyche and the resonance of one soul reaching toward another.